Hey, what's going on, people? It's SGZ here from the Spartan Game Zone, and in this video I'll be talking about the big news that dropped from Borderlands 3 HQ today. And it's good news too, the news we all wanted to hear. I made a video yesterday highlighting the issues the game is currently facing, and what do you know? Today I awake with the news that they're going to remedy all of those issues. So all I can say is well done guys, we were heard and the game is going to be fixed. It's not going to be instantaneous though, we're not going to see it come in tomorrow's hotfix, and I'll be covering everything they've said about what they're going to do to improve it and bring it back to where it was. And do let me know down in the comments what you think of the news. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you could drop a like, and let's crack into it. So as I touched on, there is going to be multiple phases they're going to go through to fix it, which is understandable. Currently, weapon balancing, loot scaling, build scaling, drop rates, glitches and crashes, among other things, affect the game negatively, and that's not going to all be wiped out in one day. And taking a phased approach to those issues is best, and means that one thing can be completely fixed before moving to another, which is the smart approach. The first phase involves stat and gear scaling, and that will arrive alongside the Guardian Takedown event, which will be coming out in the next 2 weeks. With the scaling of gear, they will bridge the gap between OP weapons like the Yellow Cake and bad weapons like the ASMD by adjusting both OP and bad gear. This will mean that there's more variety when it comes to effective weapons for all Mayhem levels, and that is a fantastic thing to hear. If that word nerf scares you, which they didn't say by the way, but is what they'll be doing, at least reading between the lines, the nerfing of OP weapons coincides with the decrease to enemies' health in Mayhem 7 and above, which will also be coming in this phase. In reference to the scaling of stats, enemies will have lower armor, health and shield stats than they do now in higher Mayhem levels, again 7 and above. In this phase they will also be making improvements to select anointments which need it, and providing a way to see what Mayhem level your gear is acquired from by having it written on the item card near where you see your anointments. The last part is really good and is something we all questioned why it wasn't in there in the first place, and having that added will improve the quality of life by a long way. When it comes to buffing anointments, I know a lot of people say get rid of the bad ones like increased damage while airborne, but what that does add is variety to the game, and by making them actually good, it means we have more playstyles, so I say keep them, just make them good enough to use, and I hope they do that. Phase 2 is character balancing and build diversity. Phase 2 will introduce the scaling of non-weapon related damage with Mayhem levels. This includes action skills, slam, slide, vehicles, and grenade mods. It's another thing that should have been in there from the start, and I'm glad they realized that and are making the change. In an attempt to create more viable builds, they will also add skill damage to class mods, whatever that means. They say it will bring powerful bonuses to action skills, which will hopefully again add more diversity to builds. When I read that, I was thinking anointments to class mods that specifically target skills and the like, which I think would be unreal, and hopefully I'm right on that count. They will also work on balancing anointments in this phase, and I hope that doesn't mean nerf the good ones, but buff the bad ones. Vending machines and chests will also get Mayhem level loot during this phase, and again is another thing that should have been added from the start, but hey, it's coming, so what can we say? Unrelated to Mayhem mode or any of these phases, they are also looking at named bosses having their own loot pools, which from what I understand means someone like Borman Nates would have his own loot pool that only he could drop, but I'm not sure about that. For that to happen they need to buff dedicated drop rates, and it needs to be a big buff too. They say it will coincide with it, but they didn't give any sort of time frame for when that might happen. I'm fine with it though whenever it might happen, as long as the dedicated drop rates are high. High dedicated drop rates make you farm more people and adds variety to who you kill and the challenges you face. You don't feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again with no reward. You're actually getting rewarded constantly by different people, and that makes the game a lot more enjoyable. I am hoping though that it's not done at the expense of world drops. In addition, they're also looking at us being able to utilize the iridium we have, and I know I have over 20,000 and I'm sure you have heaps too, and you're not even using it. When this change arrives though, you'll have another way to use it, and that's through the Iridium Fabricator. I know we can already use it now and it doesn't really drop anything, but they're going to dramatically increase its legendary drop rate, so hopefully you have one lying around. The last improvement they have for us is increasing the fight for your life revive range, which although small adds up, and it'll be another good thing to have. So all in all, great news. They listened and we should applaud them for that. There's a lot in here for us to be happy about, but it'll take a while for it all to be added in. In saying that, it's exactly what the game needs at this point. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. So that's all for this video. Let me know in the comments what you think of the news and how you feel the future of Borderlands 3 looks. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider dropping a like or subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one.